West selection. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Ben and Patsy Ross. Let's hear it for number 16, Katie Ross. Next, a 5'9" goalkeeper from Kaysville, Utah, number 1, Sarah Beecher. Sarah has played in 7 career matches with 4 starts over her 2+ seasons at Dixie State University and has a 2 career wins in goal with 2 shared shutout results and 11 career saves to her credit. Sarah is a mathematics education major, and she is joined on the field today by her parents, Brian and Chrissy Beecher. Let's hear it for number 1, Sarah Beecher. Next, a 5'4" midfielder from San Diego, California, number 7, Gina Tedrow. Gina has been a 4-year contributor in the Trailblazers program, who has appeared in 29 career games and has 2 goals and 3 assists to her credit, including a goal and an assist this past September in a win over Southern Oregon. Gina is an accounting major and who is a 3-time academic All-Pac-West selection. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Dave and Cheryl Tedrow, siblings Allie Therese and Lauren Tedrow, and her boyfriend, Reese Lucero. Fans, let's hear it for number 7, Gina Tedrow. Next, a 5'8" defender from Bountiful, Utah, number 3, Shelby Christensen. Shelby has appeared in 59 career games with 30 starts since joining the Dixie State program in 2012. A solid member of the DSU backfield, Shelby has been a part of several shutout victories over her career and has collected 1 goal and 2 career assists on the offensive end as well. Shelby is a communication major who is a 3-time academic All-Pac-West selection. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Daniel and Jenna Christensen. Fans, let's hear it for number 3, Shelby Christensen. Next, a 5'2" midfielder from St. Louis, Missouri, number 15, Alyssa Manwill. Alyssa has been a 3-year contributor in a reserve role for the Trailblazers women's soccer program, both in practice and on the sidelines.
It helps me.
She has appeared in 18 career matches with 1 start. Alyssa is an accounting major and is a 2-time academic All-Pac-West selection. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Aaron and Ann Manwill. Let's hear it for number 15, Alyssa Manwill. Next, a 5'5" forward from Farmington, Utah, number 5, Tana Singley. Tana has appeared in 45 career matches with 14 starts over her 4 years in a Dixie State kit. But she has enjoyed a breakout year as a senior as she enters today's match as ranked in the top 5 nationally in assists with a DSU single season record of 10. She also broke Dixie State's single match assist record with 4 dimes and scored a goal on her own in DSU's home win over Westminster College in September. And she will close out her 4-year career ranked 8th in career assists. Tana is a psychology major and a 3-time academic All-Pac-West selection. She is joined on the field today with her mother, Jody, and siblings Brianne and Kira Singley. Fans, let's hear it for number 5, Tana Singley. Next, a 5'3" defender from Tucson, Arizona, number 12, Brianna Parkinson. Brianna has played a vital role in Dixie State's defensive backfield for 4 seasons, having played in 64 career matches with 36 starts. She has helped lead Dixie State University to more than 20 shutout victories over that span and will go down as one of the best overall defenders in program history. Brianna is an exercise science major and she earned academic All-Pac-West honors in 2015. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Matthew and Suzanne Parkinson, sibling Taylor Parkinson, and boyfriend Corey Stannis. And let's hear it for number 12, Brianna Parkinson. Next, a 5'5" defender from Bountiful, Utah, number 30, Montana Hadley. Montana will go down as arguably the most durable player in Dixie State program history, as she has started in all 71 games played in her collegiate career, including today's finale. Montana's 71 career starts ranks her second all-time, while she will finish her 4-year career ranked in the top 5 in both assists and career matches played. As the anchor in DSU's defensive backfield, she has played a key role in DSU's 27 shutout victories over that 4-year span, including 7 shutout results this season. Montana is an accounting major and a 3-time academic All-Pac-West selection. She is joined on the field today by her parents, Jason and Holly Tanner, and her husband, David. Fans, let's hear it for number 30, Montana Hadley. And our final senior tonight, a 5'4" forward from Harriman, Utah, number 13, Darian Murdoch. Darian closes her storied 4-year career today and will do so with her name all over the Dixie State record books. Voted as the Pac-West's 2016 Player of the Year and the 2017 preseason Pac-West Player of the Year, Darian enters today's match ranked in the top 10 nationally in 5 statistical categories, including single-season school records for goals scored, game-winning goals, and points. In all, Darian has etched her name atop 5 single-season statistical categories this year, including becoming the first player in program history to register 3 hat tricks in one season, and in all 3 instances, she was named Pac-West Player of the Week. Darian will leave Dixie State as the career leader in game-winning goals, and will finish in the top 3 in career goals scored, career points, career shots, and career shots on goal. In addition to her achievements on the field, Darian is a 3-time academic All-Pac-West selection and was named to the 2016-2017 Pac-West Women's Soccer Scholar Athlete as a nursing major. In addition, she earned second-team academic All-America honors from the College Sports Information Directors of America organization. She is joined on the field today by her parents Greg and Amy McCloy and by her husband Connor. Fans, let's hear it for number 13, Darian Murdoch. And fans, let's give one more round of applause for your 2017 Dixie State Trailblazer seniors. And we have one more presentation to make before kickoff. This past October 21st, Darian Murdoch became Dixie State's single-season record holder for goals scored with her 13th of the year in a 3-1 win over Point Loma. Please join the Trailblazers in congratulating Darian on the record as the team presents her with the record-breaking game ball. St. George to Phoenix on American Airlines. Fly SGU Airport and get more options than ever before. Now with direct flights to Phoenix on American Airlines. Book your next trip today at AA.com. Fans, Mountain America Credit Union is a proud sponsor of Dixie State Athletics. Show your school spirit with a Dixie State Trailblazers branded Visa debit card from Mountain America. It makes paying quick and easy. Get your Trailblazers card at any St. George area Mountain America Credit branch. Fans, Tag and Go Express Car Wash, home of the unlimited monthly memberships and free vacuums with any wash. celebrated by two of your very own Dixie State alumni. Tag and Go Express Car Wash. Remember, keep it clean. Fans, amidst the beauty of Southern Utah lies a delicious tropical St. George dining experience. The Honolulu Grill is hailed as one of the best places to eat for St. George dining. Honolulu Grill introduces a unique variety of authentic Hawaiian plate lunches and other Polynesian foods. Our unique tropical taste will leave your mouth watering for more. A truly unique Polynesian culture experience for St. George dining. Our recipes are genuine island flavors mixed with original creations, carefully conceived and executed to perfection. Come in today and experience the hospitality of the islands and one of the best places to eat in Southern Utah. Thank you to Honolulu Grill for their support of Dixie State Athletics.
Sorry, I yanked on it really hard.
I didn't want it to get
Got
pinched.
as far as I needed to, really. Well, I guess not. I would have liked to have gotten where stand was. Do you know what I mean? He was up right at the end of the tunnel.
Fans, at this time, we'd like to introduce the starting lineups for tonight's match, starting with the visiting Cougars of Azusa Pacific University. A goalkeeper number 0, Zoe Baum. A defender number 3, Haley Patterson. Midfield number 5, Kelsey Bushman.
No, we're gonna.
A forward number 8, Stephanie Lassa. A forward number 15, Caitlin Rogers. A midfielder number 16, Kara Salmon. A defender number 18, Casey Thompson. A defender number 21, Brooke Gower. A defender number 25, Mallory Dalton. A midfielder number 27, Haley Boston. And a forward at number 30, Emily Allen. And now, fans, it's time for the starting lineup for your Dixie State Trailblazers. A 5'10 sophomore at goal from Tucson, Arizona, number 0, Felicity Tarr. A junior, a 5'10 defender from Springville, Utah, number 2, Nicole Mertz. A 5'10 forward from Centerville, Utah, number 4, Tori Page. A 5'5 midfielder from Farmington, Utah, number 5, Tara Singley. A 5'5 defender from Smithfield, Utah, number 10, Kylie Lamb. A 5'5 forward from Hooper, Utah, number 11, Cammie Hunter. A 5'3 midfielder from Tucson, Arizona, number 12, Brianna Parkinson. A 5'4 forward from Harriman, Utah, number 13, Darian Murdoch. A 6-foot defender from Meridian, Idaho, number 27, Bailey Kroll. A 5'5 defender from Bountiful, Utah, number 30, Montana Hadley. And a 5'7 forward from American Fork, Utah, number 33, Brooklyn Vogelsberg. Head coach for the Cougars is Don Lawrence, assisted by Josh Blanco, Shane Gelayer, and Myra Murdoch and Emily Wood. Head coach for the Dixie State Trailblazers is head coach Casey Bingham, assisted by Aaron Diericks, Abby Johnson, and Bryce Ross. And now, fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your caps for the playing of tonight's national anthem.
Hello and welcome to another version, another day of Dixie State Trailblazers women's soccer. As it is senior night, with you always is myself, James Guerin, on the call. And it is senior night as the Trailblazers look to get a win after 2 straight losses, going up against Azusa Pacific, who is just right in front of them in the Pac West standings, as this is the last game of the season for both teams, as Azusa Pacific right now is sitting in 3rd in the conference with 26 points, and Dixie State sitting in 4th with 24. So a win for the Lady Trailblazers today boosts them up to 3rd place in the Pac West Conference, and this is a much needed win for them today, as Fresno Pacific locks in the 2nd and California Baptist locks in the top seed in the Pac West Conference, and everything is on the line here for the Trailblazers, as this is for some of the seniors, this is the last time that they will ever step on the pitch at Legend Solar Stadium. And I tell you, it's emotional. There will be tears shed. There will be a lot of 50-50 balls here, and I'm excited for this game. Nothing beats senior night. And I could tell you all about my senior night, but it ain't about me. It's about the Lady Trailblazers that are on the field right now, and seconds away from the kickoff, as the Cougars doing some last-minute talking, always wanting to take the win on the road to senior night. That is such a sweet feeling, being able to go to somebody else's house and take that senior win away from them. But the Trailblazers going to do everything that they can to prevent that, as they have been on a little bit of a downward slope towards the end of the season. Not usually how you'd like to end a season, as they did fall to Fresno Pacific on Thursday, October 26, 1-0. A tough loss for them. And then 2 days later, dropping another loss to Concordia Irvine 2-1 to find themselves outside looking in to the tournament, as we are underway. As you may have heard, all the accomplishments and achievements of our senior forward, Darian Murdoch. Very decorative in all of her achievements. As that's going to be Hunter pressing the ball up quickly, allowing the Trailblazers to get back possession, as she sends that one up there, and running after that's going to be Vogelsberg, and able to win the ball back, kicks it a little bit out in front of her, able to toe tap it, and there's a shot on goal right at the goalkeeper. If I can see that correctly, that would be 0-0. Zoe Bauman, a 5'6" senior, as this is her last regular season game as well. The Cougars coming off 2 straight wins against Academy of Art, went up large 5-1, and then on Saturday, October 28th, came away with a 3-0 win against Holy Names. They're trying to end the season on a positive note. Always want that momentum going into the playoffs. A little bit of trickery from Kelsey Bushman as she works her way up the sideline, going up against Brianna Parkinson. Parkinson, challenger, able to win the ball away, as it looks like that one's going to go in for a... Looks like it's going to go out for a goal kick, actually. It looks like Parkinson may have towed that one out of play, as the first real threat opportunity for the Cougars here early on in the first couple of minutes. As able to get a foot on that one is going to be Bushman, but no dice for anything after that, as this one's going to be sent in the middle again, and Hadley's going to be there to try and get out of play, and she does that. However, that's going to go out for a Cougar throw-in. It's going to be Caitlin Rogers throwing that one in there, as front foot Mertz able to win the ball, unable to keep it in play. just missed it, as that one may have rolled over the line by just a hair, as that's going to be a Cougar throw-in. Hadley clears that away, hits Vogelsberg, and this one's going to find Murdoch in the middle, kicking it out wide over to Lamb. Lamb with the one-on-one just sends it back over to Kroll, as attempting to do the switch. Trailblazers control the ball once again. That's Hunter in the middle trying to make something to happen. Unable to do that, and the Cougars are on the move again, as that one splits the defenders, and Hadley is there to knock that one out of play. Hadley, another senior, starting tonight on her final home game, as she started every single game in her career. 71 to be exact. As that's going to be Haley Bostard losing the ball there, as Tori Page moves the ball up the field, and Vogelsberg's going to lose possession once again. As Lamb trying to find her teammate Vogelsberg. Vogelsberg drops it back over to Kroll, and Kroll kicks this one up. Cougar defender Mallory Walton there to head it over to do another attack, and that cross gets denied. Sends it back in the middle, and Parkinson able to kick that one out of there. This one's working the corner. Beats one defender, but not two. As there's a shot on goal, and has the curve. Too much of a curve. As that's going to be Bostard sending it in the middle. There's a shot opportunity. Doesn't like it. Passes it over. It gets blocked. Parkinson all over the place so far as Kroll heads that one out of there, avoiding any danger. As we now have a counter-attack opportunity, as that's Vogelsberg passing it over to Lamb. Two teams very, very competitive, both in the top of the Pac-West standings, as I mentioned earlier, with Dixie State posting the better overall record, as Azusa Pacific lost all 3 games that were outside of conference play, and Dixie State able to be going 4-1 in non-conference play, but find themselves just 2 points behind Azusa Pacific in the standings. Traditional senior night usually does start the seniors, but since Dixie State has a lot to play for and a lot is at stake, doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like Coach Bingham's just going to go with her usual lineup, as that one's going to go out for a Cougar throw-in. Quick throw, 1-2 right back outside. It's going to be Hunter playing around with it as she gets hit a little bit, and I believe that's going to be a free kick for the Trailblazers. That's Montana Hadley lining up for it, as she sends it away. It's going to be Bailey Grohl looking for someone. Battling off a defender, drops it back down over to Parkinson. Parkinson tries to find Singley up top, but no dice. And that one's going to roll right back over to Tar. Surprisingly, Tar has it's a pretty big leg. Able to boot that one across midfield. Such a weapon to have, as the Cougars trying to work something out here. And Hadley able to knock the defender off the ball as that one trickles over to Tar. And Tar's just going to dribble around with this one until a Cougar attacker. It's going to be Stephanie Losau pressuring her and Tar boots it away once again, getting it over to the Cougar side of the field. A lot of kickball going on around here right now. And that one's going to be sent up over to Bushman. And Bushman able to win possession, drops it back down. Getting possession is going to be Kara Scammon, and Scammon loses possession to Tori Page very quickly, and Page looking for someone, finds Hadley, and Hadley kicks this one up the field trying to find Darian Murdoch, but unable to do so, and that one's going to go out for a Trailblazer, or I'm sorry, for a Cougar throw-in. As this is game number 2 at Legend Solar Stadium. Earlier today, the football team had their own senior night going up against nationally ranked Colorado State Pueblo, but unable to get the win in their senior night, dropping a 31-10 loss. And hopefully the Lady Trailblazers turn that around, as there is a part 3 after this. The men to follow the game after this, as they've been on their own losing streak as well. As Bailey Kroll doing a little bit of trickery there. Able to find Murdoch. Murdoch passes it over and barely missing Kroll on that play. Good defensive run by her. Always fun to get out of the defensive third of the field and being able to be a part of the offense. And that one's going to go out for a Cougar throw-in. Sliding effort by Mallory Walton. And there's a shot on goal. And that was unexpected from about 25 yards out. I believe that was Tori Page. And just a good placement. Good placement on that one. I don't think the goalkeeper was expecting that at all. As we look at the replay right here, she has that opportunity that's from about 15 out, 25 out, and great placement. And that's going to, Tori Page, just a freshman, showing support for her seniors as the Trailblazers go up 1-0 here in the first 10 minutes in the first half.
Dixie State goal line number 4, Tori Page, her 8th goal of the season. Assist credited to number 10, Kylie Lamb.
And if you didn't hear that, that is Page's 8th goal of the season. As it looks like it could be a free kick for the Trailblazers, as a Cougar was playing with the ball on the ground and asking for dangerous play, as Hadley's shaken up a little bit. Mertz coming over to see if her senior is okay, as I may have just taken a little buckle of the knee, and those never feel good. It's probably just stretching one out. As it's going to be Mertz kicking it this time. Page is now, well, she has been the second leading scorer on the team. Had 7 coming into this game, and of course with that 8th one just a little bit ago. Darian Murdoch leading the way with 19. As that one's going to get dropped back for a quick reset. Bauman kicks that one up. And that's going to be Haley Patterson kicking that one across the field. And that one's going to get dropped over the tar just so she can boot it out of play, avoiding any danger. Singly heads it over. pressure by Vogelsberg, and she's going to get called for the foul. Maybe just a tad bit too aggressive, and that's a quick restart. No time being wasted here for the Cougars, looking for that equalizer. Parkinson there. And Kroll is there to kick that one out of play, and that's going to be a Cougar throw-in. Page looking for someone to kick it up to, and missing. Lamb going right back to the Cougars, and the Cougars trying to do a 1-2 of their own, but Hadley's there. Hunter over to Page. Page looking wide over to Kroll. Kroll kicking that one up to Murdoch. Finds Murdoch singly, trying to find Vogelsberg on the right side. As this one is just going to roll out of play. That's Brooke Gower trying to get something going, but the Trailblazer defense says no, as Page tried to kick that one over to Hadley. Hadley probably still walking off a little bit of an injury, unable to get to that one. As Bushman kicks that one in, and that's going to nearly go off of a Cougar foot, but it looks like that was Kylie Lamb. And got the foot on that one to go out for a corner kick. Second corner kick opportunity for the Cougars. This one gets sent in high, arcing kick. Heading the ball right back to the Cougar taker, and that one's going to get deflected immediately by Mertz. Bouncing around in the middle, and even though it was unintentional, does get the handball. And the referee has to award a penalty kick here. Unfortunate bounce, as it looks like that one just bounced into her hand, but because it's in the box, referee has no choice but to call, and kicking it for the Cougars is going to be Stephanie Losau. As that one goes just under the crossbar, looked like it was about to go over for a second, and we're all equaled up here. Wonder if we have a replay for that handball that we just had, because it looked like it was a little bit subtle. And under play here again. As this one's just bouncing around in the middle. Neither team gaining true possession. And that one's going to be called in. Good gamesmanship, and that's going to be Emily Allum trying to wave off the foul. As that's very rare that a player would wave off a foul. I do remember in a professional game a couple years ago, a guy flopped in the box and the referee awarded a penalty kick, and the guy tried to wave it off, tell the ref, hey, it wasn't a foul, I flopped, but the ref said, nope, it's going to be a penalty kick, and he intentionally just kicked it out of bounds. And that's just the respect that some of these players have for this game. No other sport you do really see that. And that's going to be Lamb fighting off the with a good defensive play on that one. Cougars able to regain possession. That's going to get flicked over, and Hadley's going to try and head this one back to Tar, and Tar just gets there in time. As Kroll finds Hunter, and Hunter kicking it over to Page, and Page hits it back out to Hadley, and Hadley finds Vogelsberg out on the bottom of the screen and unable to get there. That one's going to get dropped back over to Patterson. Cougars making a move, a couple good passes into space, and Page able to stop that momentum. She kicks it up to over to Vogelsberg, finds Singley in the middle, and Hadley's going to be, I'm sorry, not Hadley, Murdoch's going to be offsides, and a good step by the back line, able to catch her off guard as they all stepped up at the same time and just beat Vogelsberg on that, just beat out Singley on that through ball. They're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm sorry for the visual. There, keep that one out of there, and again, unfortunate bounce. It looks like this referee is going to call this a tight game. As that one hit her elbow. It's going to be Brooke Gower putting that one nearly on frame, and Tar is going to handle that one nicely, and Paige has got a lot of green in front of her. Defender closing in quickly. Doesn't find Murdoch. Tar easily hands that one. Right in the center of Brooks. Hadley fakes out the defender and finds Lamb. Over the middle to Singley, and Singley's going to switch the field over to Bailey Kroll, who's wide open. As barely just off sides, and it's going to be Vogelsberg. And let's see if we can get that one on replay. Because I think she was on. As it may have seemed like she was offsides. It was a good call. A lot of the fans here disagreeing with it, however. As if any part of the body is behind the last defender, even if it's just a hand, that flag is going to go up every single time. Now, if she wouldn't have made an attempt towards the ball, it would have still been a playable ball. The play would have kept going. Not the case here, as Tar hits a little bit of a dribbler over to Hunter, and Page able to send that one over to Hadley, and Hadley with the flick on, and that's going to be Murdoch with an opportunity here. Cuts it back in, and one hops it to the keeper. A little bit rushed there. Probably wanted just another second to gather that shot power, but unable to do so. And that's going to be Caitlin Rogers out on the side, booting that one in, and that one gets toe-tipped. And it looks like it's going to be Losau again beating out Hadley. And that was a quick turn of events. Quick cross in, able to get the toe tap, and Tara wasn't ready for that. Maybe expecting Hadley to get a foot on it. All of a sudden, you got the Cougars up 2-1. As that's Paige working in through some defenders, hitting it out wide over to Vogelsberg, and Vogelsberg dribbling this one in, sending the crossover, and there's going to be Paige again. As Paige is upset with herself, but Vogelsberg still got possession, looking for a step on the defender, gets it, and that one gets tipped out of play by the Cougars. Teams are most vulnerable after giving up a goal. The hungriest, should I say. A little bit relaxed after you scored a goal, but you always got to remember, you got to keep that pressure on. You got to keep it. Otherwise, the team will capitalize on it, as the Trailblazers are threatening to do so right now, as Hadley taking the corner kick. As this one goes in, and it's going to be a punch out by the keeper. Singley trying to get some deflections in, unable to do so. Parkinson faking out the defender, kicks this one back up top over to Vogelsberg, and I'm sorry, that would be Bailey Kroll, and that's going to be called offsides. And that's going to be Bauman taking the free kick. I was looking at the roster for the Cougars, and as most of you know, I'm from Hawaii, and I see that there's 3 girls on the Cougar side that are all from Hawaii as well. One from Aiea, that's going to be Jordan Hill, freshman. And there's 2 from Mililani, and Mililani is a powerhouse. So a lot of schools from the Pac-West like to look at Mililani for any kind of talent, because they produce talent left and right. As I have my fair share of bad memories with Mililani. That's going to get kicked up over to Paige, and Paige trying to find Murdoch, but getting in the way is going to be Kara Scammon. And Paige finding possession again, working the ball up the field. She's going to cross this one over to Hadley, who's wide open. And sending the through ball over to Hunter, and Hunter's got space. There's numbers down there in the box. She crosses this one over. Hadley, or I'm sorry, that's going to be nearly missing. It's going to be Murdoch. And she tried to get some power behind that one. And lightly goes over the crossbar and out for a Cougar free kick. Darian trying to find her 20th goal of the season, extending the university record that she already owns. And that's going to be Singley, the last one to touch it, and that goes out for a Cougar throw-in immediately right after. Hadley looking to start things off again. Back over to the far side is Kroll, and Kroll tries to find Hunter, but Hunter unable to get any possession of that one, as that one skies over her head. Goes out for a Cougar throw-in. As clean defending. That one gets kicked out by Lamb. Murdoch with possession. Kicks it up over to Vogelsberg. Vogelsberg trying to turn. And that goes out wide to Hunter, and too soft for Hunter. Hunter looks a little bit frustrated. And that one's going to be kicked out of play by the Cougars and goes out for a Trailblazer throw-in. And it's going to be Hadley. Hunter to throw it in, immediately headed by the Cougars. As this one's just bouncing back and forth between teams, and Hadley's going to let this one just bounce out of play for her throw-in. Kicked up to Vogelsberg, and tipping that one out of play is going to be LaSalle. And Page able to find the ball somehow, kicking over to Murdoch, and Hunter in the middle with the far shot, and maybe not the best idea to fire away, but she's hungry. As Bauman throws it over to the far side. We have our first substitutions of the game. It's going to be 21, Jill Bennett. Looks like she's coming in for Tana Singley, and for the Cougars, it's going to be number 29, Kennedy Christie. Coming in for, it looks like, number 5, Kelsey Bushman. There's actually 4 girls on the Cougar team from Hawaii. I missed one, also from IAEA. So, looks like Azusa Pacific recruiters trying to find some hidden talent out there in the islands, and unable to keep it in play is Brooke Gower, and that one goes out for a Trailblazer throw-in. Other scores in Pac West play for women's soccer. Earlier today, Biola handled Holy Names pretty well to a convincing 4-0 victory. Dominican, I will pause as the Trailblazer inside of the Cougar box, and Hunter with the shot again. Looks like it may have deflected off of a Cougar, but Jill Bennett right there to keep it in play, the attack alive. Vogelsberg trying to split 2 defenders. Able to win the ball back over to Jill, and Jill trying to find Page on that one, and that one gets kicked out of play. Hadley to throw it in. As I was saying, Dominican with a 1-0 victory over Concordia Irvine, where the Trailblazers maybe should have gotten a win on the road in that one. And that one gets kicked right over to Page, and Page over to Lamb. Lamb noticed the Cougar goalkeeper was outside of her box and was probably trying to find one from midfield, and probably just got the wrong connection on it, and that one just dribbled right to her. Point Loma getting the victory over Academy of Art at 1-0. Cal Baptist tied Notre Dame Daniel 0-0. And scores, as this one's another opportunity, and Murdoch skies it, as probably wasn't aware that she could have taken a touch. As we have 2 more substitutions coming in for the Cougars. That's going to be number 2, Kaylee Nicole, and number 14, Allison Pepper. And we'll take a look at the replay again, and nobody's on Murdoch at all. And just unfortunate that she couldn't quite connect, and still looking for that equalizer. Going to be Mertz heading that one out of there, but Cougars able to retain possession, and the shot on goal and hits the crossbar. Tara's able to get a hand on it, forcing that one to hit the crossbar. And another near goal for the Cougars as Jill Bennett uses her speed to beat one defender, nearly beating 2 defenders. As Jill falls to the ground, but a clean tackle by Walton. As long as you get ball first, no foul. As that one's bouncing around inside of the box once again, and looks like that one's going to hit off of a Cougar? No. Hit off of looked like it might have been hit off of Jill. So we have more substitutions coming in for the Cougars. That's going to be number 23, Tana Brinkman. Coming in for Kara Scammon. And it's going to be Bauman kicking it away. LaSalle has 2 goals tonight. However, that just makes her the 2nd leading scorer for the Cougars. And we have another substitution for the Trailblazers. It's going to be Shelby Christensen coming in for Kylie Lamb. As the leading goal scorer for the Cougars is actually Caitlin Rogers, number 15. As she takes a breather on the bench. Finding space, and Hadley steps up quickly, able to win that one over, and Murdoch flicks it back outside to Hadley, and Hadley's going to send this one in the middle. Jill's going to get there. She's going to kick it back in the middle over to Murdoch, and unable, and it's going to be Hunter with the shot, but off target. And Hunter getting a lot of far shot opportunities. Maybe a little bit of anger and frustration has to do with that, as you just want to get that laser from about 40 out. No better feeling than that. As Gower makes the defender miss, passes it in the middle, kicking it out wide over to Christie, and Christie passes it back to Gower. A little bit more tactical play here for the Cougars in the last couple of minutes. Stringing together a couple passes. As Murdoch probably thought Kroll was already going to be up there. As Kroll nearly taken a ride on top of one of the Cougar players. It's going to be Hunter winning the ball back, looking for room. Moving the ball up the field, kicks it up over to Vogelsberg, and Vogelsberg was on, and she's got a one-on-one. Able to beat defender on the outside and tries to kick it in and gets tripped up. The referee looked like he was going to call it just for a second. However, that's just going to go out for a Trailblazer throw-in, and we had a great angle right here, and the defender doesn't even touch the ball. That missed opportunity, a missed call by the center referee, but doesn't have the angle that he could see that. So it's just going to be a corner kick. As Hadley sends this one into the middle. Over to the back is Jill, and Jill tries to find the opposite side of the field and unable to do so, and the Cougars will take this one back out. As Giauer kicks this one outside over to Christie. Hadley looking for Murdoch again. All those through balls so deadly. Finding the defense off guard. As we saw a near opportunity for that through ball over to Vogelsberg. As Page kicks it back over to Hadley, and Hadley once again with that through ball, and Murdoch not in time as Bauman steps up and gets the ball off a one bounce. Rolls it short over to, I think it's going to be Lindor. As with space is Christie, and Christie hitting the outside man, but Kroll is there to head it away. And Parkinson able to hit this one off the Cougars and going out for a Trailblazer throw-in. Hadley's stepping up, trying to find Murdoch. Murdoch tripped up a little bit. No foul in the play. It looks like she's tripped over her own feet. Murdoch with the quick throw-in, finding Jill. And there's a shot opportunity for Murdoch, and trying to fake out the goalkeeper, but good help from her center backs. As there's a shot on goal and just missing wide is Page, and golden opportunity for the Trailblazers as Murdoch was probably trying to do the messy, as they call it, trying to dribble up to the goalie and get that little fake on the outside. And maybe just a heel kick would have worked, but unable to capitalize, and still a 2-1 game. Christensen finds Kroll on the outside, and Kroll making a run of her own as she beats the defenders, trying to cross this one in, and Bauman's going to be there to handle things as she throws this one out wide. Lots of space. This one's going to be sent up over to Kaylee Nicole. Nicole finding a Lum. And flick by Christie. That one's going to get dropped back to Gower, and Gower's going to make a little bit of moves herself. As Page stops that one, Vogelsberg setting up to Murdoch, and too much in front of Joe Bennett. Starting play again. It's going to be Christie sending it over to the opposite side of the field. Over to, looks like it's Casey Thompson. And this one's going to come out, and Tar sliding in her own defender, but able to keep possession of it. Maybe the first week of November, but we still got beautiful weather out here, and that's the beautiful thing about St. George is, you know, up north in Salt Lake, it's snowing sometimes up there, and it gets to the 30s up there, but here at nighttime it's still a nice 50 degrees, and I've lived here long enough to be able to get used to that. And yesterday they had the high school state championship band competition down here because of the warm weather. It's still warm enough to be able to host events like that. And right now, no wind and not a lot of sun is the perfect soccer weather, as front flip Mert's going to do her thing for the first time today. Now it's going to get flicked over by Jill, and Jill Bennett trying to find somebody is a little bit puzzled as to why nobody was behind her, as Bauman handles that one. She boots it away. As we are nearing halftime, 2 minutes away. Cougars trying to make one last final run before half. Passing it out wide is Brinkman. Cougars threatening. One's going to get kicked into the middle. Parkinson able to get ahead on it. Bouncing it around in the middle. Finding the Cougars again. There's a shot on goal and way over. Wrong sport. As that one sails through the uprights. And it's going to be Paige flicking the ball up over to Jill Bennett. And Kroll able to keep this one in, using her speed to get something going in. Nearly getting a foot on, it's going to be Murdoch, and Bauman's going to pick this one up nicely. Maybe melting a little bit off the clock as there's a minute left.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
And to her feet, Tar sending it back out to Hadley, and Hadley going to send it over, trying to find either Murdoch or Bennett. It's going to be Brinkman trying to set things up. It's going to be Nicole passing it, and that's going to be Christensen sliding in and shot on goal. No problem for Tar. And there you have it. At the half, the Cougars hold a 2-1 lead over the Trailblazers as Stephanie LaSalle with 2 goals here in the first half. And a little bit of adjustments needed to be made as the Trailblazers they're finding the lanes that they need to get those through balls. They just got to keep doing it. They have been getting a lot of shots on goal. And, you know, eventually it's going to break that back line for the Cougars. So look for a lot more of those in the second half. And for Azusa Pacific, maybe a little bit more of a defensive approach. And if they win tonight's match, they'll move to second place. So, excuse me, Fresno Pacific hasn't locked the second place position, because if Azusa Pacific were to win today, they would jump up into second place. "15-minute break for halftime. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break myself, as we'll be back just before halftime. Be back here in about 12 minutes. And if you're in the area, come on down to Legend Solar Stadium for 2 exciting matches featuring our own men's and women's soccer going up against Azusa Pacific. And with that, I will be back in about 12 minutes on the Dixie Trailblazers Sports Network. Welcome back to Legend Solar Field as the Cougars holding on to a 2-1 lead for the moment over your own Lady Trailblazers, as Stephanie LaSalle knocked away 2 goals in the first half, one of them off of a penalty kick of the result of a handball inside of the box. And the lone goal for the Trailblazers by Tori Page, assisted by Kylie Lamb. Senior night, for those of you who aren't aware, as some of these seniors playing their final home game of their collegiate careers. And let me tell you something, senior night, you want to give everything you have. Yes, the Trailblazers will be in the playoffs. They'll have a couple more games. They'll still play. But something about playing at home for your final time, it's emotional. And for me, the senior game, senior night, it was fun. You left everything out there, and you fought for that extra 50-50 ball. You hustled those 10 yards. You did everything you could because that's your legacy. You got to build a legacy on your home turf. And for the final 45 minutes of this second half, maybe we'll see a little bit more aggressiveness from some of our senior girls as they need to represent their class. And about 20 seconds away from halftime being over. And Dixie State, a lot on the line here tonight. Being able to move up into third place if they were to get the victory tonight. And of course, for Azusa Pacific, with the victory, would push them up to second place, surpassing Fresno Pacific. For those of you just joining us, with you always is myself, James Guerin, for all your women's sports, whether it's volleyball, here for women's soccer, and in the winter, I'll also be doing women's basketball, and in the spring, I'll be doing softball as well. Final words from the Lady Trailblazers as they take the pitch. A lot of smiles out there. It is starting to get a little bit chilly out there. A lot of the players in their team sweaters, team jackets. There's nothing like playing under the lights. Playing under the lights at night, it just almost adds another dimension, should you say, or another factor. It's like, hey, we're under the lights. We're not, playing recreational soccer like how we all used to when we grew up and just playing, a normal game. Now you're under the lights. It's kind of like playing, high school football or even sometimes college football under the lights. It's the feeling you get that, hey, this is actually something really, really important. And, we got to shine. You shine under the bright lights, as they say. And we're just about underway, and looks like Tar's talking to her back line for these final seconds in halftime. Trailblazers going with their usual starting lineup. Start off the second half. And we are underway. As Page taking it up quickly. Back down to Lamb, and Kroll's going to be on the near side of the field, and that one's going to go out by the Cougars for a Trailblazer throw, and that one's quickly thrown in by Kroll. And Singley unable to maintain possession as that one goes out for a Cougar throw-in. Flicked on. Trailblazers able to recover. As switching the field is Parkinson over to Hadley on the far side. Hadley kicks it right back over to Parkinson. Parkinson with all kinds of time, no pressure. That's Vogelsberg over to Hunter, and Hunter with the through ball, but Murdoch knew she was offsides, didn't make an attempt after the ball. That's why there was no call, and Bauman was able to pick that one up, punt it away. 3 Trailblazer defenders all over Bushman, and switching the field quickly as Vogelsberg tries to beat 2 defenders, beats 1. And diving effort. It looks like Parkinson, and Haley gets the ball, kicks this one up the field over to Singley on the far side, about the 30-yard line, kicking it back. And we got kickball going on again. And it's going to be Hunter with possession, finding Kroll. Kroll's got room. Going to kick this one over to Singley, and Singley one-on-one on the outside. It's going to be Hunter again with the long shot. And seen a handful of those from her now. And Page trying to find Murdoch. Bauman rolling this one outside. It's going to be LaSalle playing with the ball in the middle, drops it back down to her center back. Looks like it's going to be Walton. As the Cougars moving this one on the outside. 2 defenders unable to make the attacking move is Caitlin Rogers, leading scorer for the Cougars. Cougars being a little bit more conservative here as they do have that lead right now. And with Trailblazer defenders all over, able to win the ball back as... Oh, and we got a couple elbows flying from both defenders. Looks like it's going to be Parkinson and Rogers getting into a little bit of a scuffle, and the referee's going to talk to both of them, saying no elbows here, as it looks like Parkinson might have wrapped her arm around Rogers, and Rogers wasn't having it, and we can see right here, she grabs the right arm, and elbows being thrown back and forth as Rogers has the final elbow in that one. That's what caused the stoppage of play. The aggressiveness picking it up, that's for sure, like I was saying. And Vogelsberg finding the middle of the field, unable to get it to Hunter in time. And the Cougars switching possession once again, but Hunter quickly makes an adjustment, gets the ball back with space. Flicking it on over to Murdoch, and Murdoch not going to get there, and that one's going to get trickled out of play as the shielding by Mallory Walton lets it go out for a Cougar goal kick. Final game of the season for both teams as the NCAA West Regionals start November 10th. It's going to be next Friday. And that's going to be Parkinson winning the ball back, moving the ball up the field and beating 3 defenders. A little bit of a cheer from the crowd. And on the outside is going to be Hadley dribbling the ball up, sends it in the middle, trying to find Murdoch. Murdoch about 3 paces behind, lets her know that was a good ball, and indeed it was. Danger. And Hunter making a step on it. Now it's going to go right back to Bauman. And on the bottom is LaSalle, and LaSalle kicks it right back to the Trailblazers, and Murdoch with the ball on the outside tries to find Kroll, and Kroll able to kick it up to Page, and inside the box, numbers are coming in, and Singley tries to find Page, and Vogelsberg's going to chase this one, trying to save it from going out of play, and does so. Sending it back into the middle, and heading that one out of there is going to be Haley Bostard. As Kroll has a shot on goal and nearly on frame. But gonna go out for a Cougar goal kick. Has trouble, and Vogelsberg with the shot on goal, and Bauman comes up big. As she didn't really come out to challenge it, but still great positioning. As Mertz is going to play this one short over to Hadley. And offsides is going to be Singley. And Singley a little bit frustrated with herself as well. And this one's gonna go out for a Trailblazer throw-in. And it looks like that foul's gonna go against Tori Page, and the Cougars quickly playing this one. Lots of passing going on for the Cougars as Hadley steps in and disrupts that one. Finding Vogelsberg, trying to get it to the outside, and challenging her is going to be number 30, Emily Alum. And the referee says that one goes off of the Cougars. And it looks like it might be a foul awarded. And this one, danger inside of the box. As Hunter gets taken out, and referee didn't see anything, apparently. And that one's going to go out for a throw, and then you know it. Front flip Mertz going to do her magic and get this one inside of the box. And this one goes in the box. This is trouble, and Bauman able to get a hand on it, punch it out of there. And Vogelsberg is onside and gets taken out, but goes out for a Cougar corner, or I'm sorry, for a Trailblazer corner kick. And Hadley going to be doing the honors. And that one gets sent in, and getting a head on it is Mertz, and it looks like it's going to go out just inside of the flag. It's going to be a Cougar throw-in. And Kroll wins this one back as the fans a little bit on the more cheerful side tonight. And Kroll sends that one over to Murdoch, and Murdoch called for offsides. And the fans do not like it. We'll definitely get a replay of that one, as it looks like Murdoch's back was on the defender. We take a look here, and that looked off. That looked onside to me, but the assistant ref on the far side doesn't think so. And the fans letting him know. Doesn't change the call, but everybody tries to be a referee when they're watching a game. Finding Murdoch again inside the box, and with the good defense, it's going to be Walton, and limping on the play is Murdoch, and maybe a knee to the leg perhaps. Opportunities keep piling up for the Trailblazers. They just need to get one in there. And Page with the shot on goal, and this was a hard one right at Bauman, and Bauman able to catch that one with no problem. As the ball seems to be lingering. As Kroll misses that one, and Tar's going to come out, and good awareness by Tar. She noticed that no one was going to beat that to the ball unless she made an effort to it, and she does exactly that. And what could have been a goal-scoring opportunity just turned into a throw-in. As Rogers sends this one in the middle with the flick, and that ball had about 4 or 5 touches in the air before Tar said nope, and caught that one and delivered it out over to her defense. It's a good flick, and that was Alum trying to get maybe a shoulder on it. And that one getting cleared and goes out for a Trailblazer goal kick. Lady Trailblazers trying to avoid dropping their 3rd in a row, as that would be the first time they would do so all year if they were to lose tonight, as they have posted a 12-5 overall record. battling it on the far side, and heading that one out is going to be Mertz. Finding Kroll in the bottom. And kicking that one right at the Cougar bench will be like it was Kara Scammon looking for the foul on that one, but quickly played in. As 1, 2, 3 passing by the Cougars and a good overlapping run as that one gets sent back in the middle. Mertz able to stop that attack. Hunter with possession again. As she gets taken out, doesn't even hit the ball. As that is Haley Bostard. As you see right here, looks to be going for the ball, but no contact with the ball at all. So a free kick awarded to the Trailblazers. And Tar's going to send this one away. Across the field, over to Singley. And that one's going to get kicked into the construction site. And that's going to be Page shaking off 2 defenders. Finding Lamb, and Lamb trying to find Vogelsberg, unable to do so. Pressure still on, and that one gets kicked all the way back to the backfield. That's going to be Parkinson, the defender right on her. And Singley not in time, and we have substitutions for both teams. As it looks like number 13, Kelsey Lindor, and number 7, Kelly Yoshihara coming in for the Cougars, and coming in for the Trailblazers. Looks like it's number 24, Kelsey Cook, coming in for Vogelsberg. Cougars trying to look for that quick counterattack. They get it. And that's Parkinson there with a good defense. Denying the cross, and Parkinson's down. As there was no numbers down there inside of the box, but still playing hard. Parkinson denies the potential cross. And she gets up and walks it off. And a corner kick for the Cougars. And it looks like the ref wasn't quite ready. As we're going to have a re-kick. And Tar's going to get a punch on that one. Still troubled, bouncing inside of the box. And it's going to be Lamb kicking that one up top to Murdoch. Murdoch trying to gain possession of it. Puts the pressure on, wins the ball back, and maybe they called it a handball on the play. And this ref is really looking out for these handball calls tonight. As I've never seen 3 called in one game before. Kroll winning possession, but kicks it right back to the Cougars. And Singley hit. And it looks like the Cougars already taken the gamesmanship part of the game and taking their time with all the balls that go out of play or free kicks. They're taking their time. A little bit of miscommunication between LaSalle and Thompson. Bailey Kroll going to throw this one in. Quickly hit out of play. And Murdoch looking for somebody. Wins the ball back. Defender right on her. Murdoch thought Hadley was going to be crashing down. And Rogers kicks this one right back, but nearly wins it back. And Parkinson's going to kick this one up to the far side over to Hadley. And Hadley's going to boot this one to the top. Trying to find Singley, doesn't. And no one near her. It's going to be Thompson, and Cougars getting a lot more strings of passes together. That's going to be Murdoch with numbers in front, kicking that out wide over to Tori Page, and Page is unable to get there. And that one's going to go off for a Cougar throw-in. And going out of play by the Cougars for a Trailblazer throw, and a quick throw-in by Hadley. Over to Page, and Page back to Hunter, and Hunter's going to drop this one back down to Parkinson, and able to connect some passes. About 4 passes together, and Murdoch's right there. And it looks like offsides was called again, and the attackers for the Lady Trailblazers can't believe it. And maybe we can see what the... And there was no offsides on that play. The forward was actually behind the defender. Not sure what the call was on that one. That one's going to get booted, but Lamb there to stop it. Hunter making a couple defensive plays on it. It's going to be Rogers in space. Rogers kicking this one in and not on frame. And we have substitutions coming in. For the Trailblazers, it's going to be number 21, Jill Bennett. And for the Cougars, it's going to be Kennedy Christie, Tana Brinkman, and Allison Pepper. As we are just now a little bit over halfway done with half number 2. And the Trailblazers' attack has died off a little bit, but still playing hard. And that's Bailey Kroll on the outside. 2 defenders on her. Beats both of them inside of the box. Looks for the flick in, and good idea by Kroll doing what she does. But Murdoch just a couple steps behind that one, and Bauman able to pick that one up. As Kroll has that speed with the ball and may surprise a lot of people. Is listed at 6 foot, so one of the taller players for soccer. Able to use that to her advantage. And that one's harmlessly kicked up the field as Murdoch pressuring Bauman on that one. It looks like it's going to be a foul against the Trailblazers. Looked like that was going to be on Kelsey Cook. Yeah, the Trailblazers are able to win that one. Trying to find Jill Bennett. Jill Bennett playing hard out there as another handball is called against Hunter. And deflected off of Lamb and going out for a Cougar throw-in. It's going to be Thompson throwing it in. And 2-on-1, nearly winning the ball back. And that one's going to go over to Singley, and Singley's going to get things started as she sends this one over Murdoch's head. Not exactly what Murdoch was expecting. As that's going to be a foul against Yoshihara. As maybe a little bit too much of an arm extension, trying to keep the Trailblazers off the ball, and extending your elbow is going to get a call every single time. You can bump shoulder to shoulder, but as soon as that elbow comes up, that's going to be a foul. And Montana Hadley kicking this one in the box, and that's going to be Cook there, almost getting a shot on it. Murdoch chasing after it inside of the box. And it's going to be Hadley with a shot, or excuse me, across in the middle. It's still bouncing around. And Bauman able to pick that one up. Gonna let it bounce and sending this one up top, and that one's going to get bounced off of Parkinson, and Mertz is there. Mertz trying to beat the defender, does so. Gives it back up to Parkinson. Over to Lamb, and Lamb finds Hunter wide open on the bottom of the field. And Hunter with the spin, and maybe a little bit tripped up, and Yoshihara doesn't like the call. However, it's going to be a Trailblazer free kick. There's maybe just that little hint of a tug at the jersey might have what done it. And Hadley is going to send this one in, as she always does. As we got 3 new substitutions getting ready for the Trailblazers for the final 15 minutes of this match. It's going to be Murdoch getting the shot, and right to Bauman. Booting it away. Lamb finding Singley, and Singley's got space. And there's the ball over to Jill Bennett, and Jill gets a toe on it, but another incredible save. And almost getting the goal opportunity was Jill Bennett with that speed of hers. And Bauman's made some exceptional saves here tonight. As you see right here, Jill just trying to get that toe touch. And that's Murdoch again with the ball, bouncing it around. And the intensity kicking up a notch here in the last third of the half. And that's going to be a free kick awarded to the Cougars. And kicking that one out of play for a Cougar throw-in. And taking their time, as they should. It's part of the game. And that one's going to, looks like it got kicked out of play by the Cougars, but ref sees otherwise. As the three subs for the Trailblazers patiently waiting, as they've been out there for about 4 minutes now. And that's going to be Parkinson kicking this one out of play for another Cougar throw-in. So substitutes have to wait. Going to be Lamb looking for someone. Finds Hunter in the middle. Hunter looking for Bennett. Cougars able to get possession once again in the attack in third. Working Hadley on the outside, but Hadley with the last touch, and that's going to go out for another Cougar corner kick, trying to extend their lead to get a little bit more breathing room. As a 2-1 lead late is nothing to be safe, nothing to feel safe about. And that one's going to get crossed in the middle, and nobody is there. And that one's going to roll out of play. And finally the substitutions after about 5 minutes come in. And it's going to be Alexa Estridge, Brooklyn Vogelsberg, and Tori Page coming back in. And coming out is going to be Kelsey Cook, Tana Singley, and Kami Hunter. Some new faces for the first time in this game. And that's going to be front foot Mertz. Kroll's just going to kick this one out of play. That's going to be a Cougar throw-in. Another opportunity. And kicking that one out of play is going to be Yoshihara. And the foul going against Emily Alum, and some of the fans not happy that there's no card being issued, as that's now the second time, I believe, that a Cougar defender is held on to a Trailblazer. And that's going to get dropped back to Tar, and Tar's going to attempt to kick this one up. Gets intercepted. The Cougars able to regain possession. Back out wide is Thompson. It looks like a little bit of a push by Estridge, but able to maintain possession, so no call. The advantage being played. And the ritual. And that one's going to bounce over to Bennett, and Bennett hustling out there. That one's going to get flicked up onto Paige, and Paige unable to get there, but Lamb gets the ball quickly and mistouched. It's going to be Parkinson trying to get something going. And there's Estridge over to Murdoch. Murdoch with the flick and the turn. Over to Vogelsberg, and Vogelsberg nearly getting it back. Cougars recover. There's the through ball, and there's trouble, and Tar's going to slide out and makes the save. Dangerous opportunity for the Cougars, but Tar makes the stop, and Bailey Kroll's going to have all time in the world to dribble this one down the field. And Yoshihara finding just dribbling it to the corner, as we're now under the final 10 minutes here in the game. And fatigue definitely coming into play, as some of these girls have been on the field for 80 minutes. And Mertz just clears that one of any danger. Back over to Murdoch, and Estridge is there. Nope, just kidding. It's going to be Hadley picking it up. Kicking that one up, trying to find Bennett. And it's going to be Paige right in the middle, and Paige sends it down bottom to Lamb. Lamb's got space. Back out to Vogelsberg. Vogelsberg lets this one run. Beats Thompson on the outside. And it looks like that one was last touched by Thompson, and we got a corner kick for the Lady Trailblazers. The fans showing their support, as we're now under 8 minutes left in this match. And this one's going to be sent in the middle, and getting ahead on it are the Trailblazers, and that one's bouncing around in the middle as Jill's going to be there. Kicking this one straight up, heads it to herself. This one's still bouncing around inside, and there's Murdoch getting ahead on it. Over to Vogelsberg, and getting kicked out of play, and another opportunity missed by the Lady Trailblazers, and Bauman is going to do the goal kick, and we have substitutions. KB Hunter coming back in, and we got 3 new substitutions, as LaSalle comes back in along with Rogers and Haley Bostard, all checking back in for the final 6 minutes of this game. That one's going to be booted up the sideline. Vogelsberg is there, but able to get it over to Bauman, and Bauman taking her time, not able to pick it up. And it's going to be Parkinson keeping it on the line. And it looks like a little bit of a jersey tug was called against the Cougars. Didn't quite see it there, but a free kick awarded. And it looks like it's going to be Lamb kicking this one in right in the middle. And that one looks like it was deflected by the Cougars, but it goes out for goes out by the Trailblazers for a Cougar goal kick. And time is running low for the Trailblazers, so maybe you ought to see Coach Bigham bringing another attacker and possibly bringing out a defender, trying to go to a 3-back formation. And that is it's a high risk, high reward strategy, but your playoff seeding is on the line here. Third place at stake, or being tied for fourth. Excuse me, being tied for fifth. One goal could be the difference between second and fifth. Excuse me, third and fifth. So we got more substitutions coming in. And it looks like that one is going to be Emi Koflanovic coming in for Yoshihara. And that one's going to be sent up, and Bauman is right there at the top of her box. And playing it short. And Hunter's going to attempt to send this one in the middle, and Lamb's there to pick it up. Lamb's going to send this one back in the middle, and the long balls are not working for the Trailblazers, as I think the Cougars are finally realizing that that's their point of attack, and Murdoch loses the ball rather quickly, and going out for a Cougar throw-in. Lamb playing hard out there. So we are 3 minutes away from the end of regulation. A goal by the Trailblazers would send this one to overtime, as Estridge fires this one in over to Murdoch. Murdoch got two defenders on her, and Murdoch sends it in the middle over Estridge's head, and the Cougars looking to just dribble this one down the side. It looks like LaSalle is trotting down the side, in fact, and that one just gets kicked to nobody, and Parkinson is there. And LaSalle right there again with space. Parkinson there blocking it with her back, and that's going to be Hunter trying to beat two defenders. A lot of tired bodies out there. Noticeable from the Trailblazers specifically, as they looked gassed. And LaSalle's going to take this one to the corner flag. And that one's going to go out for a Cougar corner kick. And great awareness by LaSalle. And probably the best way to burn any type of clock is to just dribble it to the flag and let them kick it out. As I'm sure everybody gets taught that when it comes to milking the clock, and that's exactly what she's going to do again. And that one's going to go out for a Trailblazer throw-in, and trying to get this one started going, getting it out of the corner. It's going to be front flip Mertz firing it away. Straight over to LaSalle, and Mertz is going to kick this one up. Kroll and LaSalle trying to do the L pass, unable to do so.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
1 minute remaining, as you heard right there. And the Cougars just gonna play this one out, and Tar's gonna come out and quickly get the ball out over to Hadley, and 45 seconds remain. And this one's gonna have to go up sooner or later, and that's over to Hunter, and Hunter flicks this one over. And that's going to be Murdoch. And Murdoch not finding anybody. And that one's going to go out of play. And that one's just going to get kicked up the field, and looks like it's going to be Parkinson with about 15 seconds left, dropping it over to Tar, and Tar's going to kick this one up over to Mertz.
10, 9, 8, 7,
As Hadley's going to have to
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there you have it. Azusa Pacific coming into Legend Solar, getting the victory, pumping themselves to second place in Pac West play, overtaking Fresno Pacific from the 2 goals from Stephanie LaSalle, both in the first half. And that's 3 straight in a row for the Trailblazers, possibly missing the West Regionals. Not entirely sure how the West Regional bracket works, but we'll have all the information for you on Tuesday when we do our Trailblazer Weekly show. And we'll have all the information provided for you. But for right now, the Trailblazers fall to 12-6 overall in the year, 8-5 in Pac West Conference play. And the Lady Cougars improved to 9-5-2 overall and 9-2-2 in Pac West play, getting the 2nd seed in the Pac West Conference. But don't go anywhere. The men's approximately starting in about 30 minutes. Kyle Cummings will be on the call, as he is for you always. And if you're not doing anything on a Saturday night, come on down. It's going to be a little chilly, but it's going to be great soccer. As the men's soccer team trying to end their season on a high note. Last game for them as well. And senior night concluded for the women, and their season possibly not over yet. They still got a couple more games if things were to go their way. And it's not over for Azusa Pacific, as their season definitely staying alive. And that's going to do it for our broadcast. With you always, James Guerin, for every sporting event regarding women. And the next time that I'll be on air is going to be on Monday. It's going to be women's volleyball. You catch me here again for all your play-by-play. And that's going to do it for this broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. And Kyle Cummings is going to be on here in about 25 minutes and do all the play-by-play for the men's games. And thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good night. Aloha.